Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Learning Torah Lishma. Part 2. We already discussed a male, and we said we're going to get back to discussing a female. And in truth, a female, there's endless depth. But we're going to try to touch upon a few things. First, we have to understand in general, what is a female experience in her mind and heart? This is what she's made up of. She has the mind, the heart, her instincts, conscious, subconscious. What's going on in there? Right? That's the question every man has. What is going on, right? The women are like, just, why don't you get it? This. You know, and the man just is like, you know, for some reason he doesn't pick it up, you know. So we discussed man. Now let's discuss a woman. This wasn't easy. It's probably one of my hardest shiurim, hardest Jewish classes, you know, because a woman is like Rechavim in Ayam, you know, wider than the oceans. A woman has so much depth, so much amkus. What's going on in a woman? The whole universe is going on in a woman. This world, the next world. A woman is experiencing everything. A woman, everything is happening inside of her. A man, he's simple. Logic has like a dominating force on a man, and his mind is logic, and his heart is logic, heart, logic. It's very close. A woman is kulei hearts, is completely the heart. Her mind is heart, mind. Her heart is heart, heart. You understand? This is a woman. Maybe that's a new meaning, and we say, B'chalavavcha. What are you talking about? Where are the two hearts? So in a man, right, it's the mind, heart that's here. It's really mind, heart, you know, mind, heart over here. Or heart, mind, you know, very simple, you know, very close. But a woman, it's heart, mind. Heart. That's what's happening. And she is like just giving forth life. You understand? Her deep love and emotion and care. And just gives for life. And just like spiritually and emotionally she gives for life, she gives forth life. That's why she's the one that has the baby. She gives forth life. Because that's who she is. A man contributes a little. But what a woman does, nothing compared to what a man does. It's so huge, it's so grandeur. She does so much. A woman is life. A man is safety. Since a woman, there's so much in her. Each woman is able to affect so much more on this world than a man could naturally affect. A woman, her ability to affect the world is so big. A man, he'll have to fight for it. He'll have to control people. I'm not saying that's a good thing. He has to learn how to do things in a proper way, absolutely. But a woman, naturally, she just affects her whole surrounding. The atmosphere in the room changes. Because of this greatness inside of her, that it's so vast, greater than the oceans, wider than the oceans, she could sometimes feel that she's in the middle of the ocean. No, it sounds funny. I was just saying this over to some, certain women, and they had a bit of a shock on their face, like, how do you know this about me? Both of them. A woman could sometimes feel that she's in the middle of the ocean, and she has no idea who she is. She's being pulled by all directions. And she just feels that she can't control. She feels out of control. She feels she's not with someone. She's not letting someone guide her, but she's just completely left to the elements. She's, 1 hour she's this, 1 hour she's that. Everything is changing so rapidly. Now, a man is very simple. It's this and this and that's it. You understand? A man is not complicated to figure out, to please, to know, to know what they're looking for, to know what they need. Not so complicated. Man's pretty simple. And because a man works in a very simple way, because his logic is so powerful in him, therefore it's easier for him to accomplish things, to create wealth, safety, to turn kids into adults. A man is not so complicated, and therefore a woman could figure out a man very easily. The thing is that now the woman has to want to bring happiness and goodness into the mind and heart of the man. But men have a big problem, is that a woman is so complicated that he sort of gives up in pleasing her in her mind and heart, because he can't figure her out. 1 hour she's this, 1 hour she's that, constantly changing. She has her period, changes. Well, giving birth, changes. She goes on a diet, changing. Things are so volatile. The man sort of gives up. A good man says, I'll treat her the way I want to be treated. That's like a good man. He doesn't know what she is. He knows that that this is a woman, and she's claiming this, but then she does other things that show the opposite. And he might even do that for her, and then she doesn't even recognize it. And she doesn't even realize that she doesn't recognize it, because she already became someone else in the other during, in the next day, she's already someone else. So when you do it for her, she wants now something completely different. A man is like, what do I do? Could be affectionate, this, that, to her, but it doesn't. It's very hard for a man to affect a woman here and here. It's very hard. He doesn't know what to do. It's always changing. It's volatile, it's like. So first, a woman needs to appreciate that women will say, well, they're not doing this, but is he trying to do for you? Yes. It's not that he's trying not to do. He is trying to do. He just can't figure you out. And you change. 1 month you're this, 1 month you're that. You understand? So 1 year was going well this, all of a sudden now it's like he's doing nothing. What does she want? He can't. He gets mixed up, and after 2 years the whole thing could break up because I'm doing this, you were happy, and now all of a sudden you're not. And for a man, you just do the same things forever, right? And he's happy. It's not complicated for a woman to please a man. But for a man to please a woman, it's not easy. And it's really not so easy. So you got to give a bit of grace to the man, especially if you see he's trying. He's not now in your mind. He's not doing what you would want. Okay, but it's not easy for him to figure that out, and you have to become more of a positive person and see that he's trying to do. You understand? And maybe be a bit honest in yourself and appreciate that you're very volatile. You change from hour to hour, from day to day, from month to month, from year to year. And it's not easy for him, but he's trying. And you should love him because he's trying. And stop thinking, well, it's not exactly this. Now, coming to a man, what do you do? Everything's moving around. A man has to know to do, and a woman has to know to do, that. Now let's go to the woman, right? The woman, right? 1 year she's feeling that she wants to be so holy, so special. The next year she's wanting things that are really not good. God forbid, chas v'shalom, to be dishonest to her husband, wanting the same sex, God forbid. Just getting angry all the time at the kids. What's going on? Why is this happening? Why am I just so displeased with my husband, even though he's really trying to do, but I'm just displeased with him? Why is that? We touched upon a few areas. There could be many other areas, you understand? Life is vast. The woman is wondering. Sometimes I think women are a bit scared also in themselves, about themselves. They're like, what is going on? Men don't have this fear so much because their logic fortitudes them. But a woman that's heart, what's happening is that she got a bad friend. She started to become friendly with a bad neighbor. She's working full time and is getting influenced by the workplace. you move to a different place and it's not such a spiritual place. What are we touching upon? Both a man and a woman have to be very careful of their surroundings. But a woman has to be extra careful, has to be extremely careful. I'm just going to give an example. I was listening, what's his name? John Deloney from Dave Ramsey. And he got a caller that this woman is saying that she didn't know exactly what to do. She is married and she has a friend, someone else's wife. And this other person's wife tells her that she's having feelings for her. Like same-sex attraction. That's the way she gave it. That's how she's, having feelings for people is a good thing, but when you're in that stage, that's not good. And she didn't know how to deal with it. Now, if a man came over to her, she would just say that's inappropriate, and I'm married, and completely lock that person out of life. But the women are loyal to each other much more than men. Women are just naturally loyal to another woman. They say the only thing that could break two women apart is a man, right? So women are just naturally very loyal to each other. Men are naturally not so loyal to each other, but when they become loyal, their loyalty is extremely strong. Like, no woman is going to break that up. So we're not going to go through, the back and forth, but what I thought in that scenario is, because of what we're discussing now, is that a woman is extremely affected by her surroundings, the hearts around her, the emotion around her, the level of spirituality around her, or lack of, or God forbid, chas v'shalom, the presence of the devil around her she changes according to her surroundings. This is the secret that women need to remember for their protection. A woman changes very quickly to good when they're around good people. And unfortunately, it might take a bit longer. Some people, it's quicker, depending on their level. But what happens to a woman is her change happens quickly. And if she's around good people, she becomes good. And if she's around just mediocre people, that's what she becomes. And chas from God forbid, she's around bad people, she starts to want things like they want. And therefore this woman, this other woman came up to her, that's her friend, and said that she has feelings for her. She needs to disconnect from her. You have to be firm. You don't have to, be mean about it, but you could be firm. But the woman needs to disconnect. Why? Because if she allows this person to continue to be in her life, this other woman will turn her, will start to turn her. It might take a few years, but that's what she's going to do. Because women are affected tremendously by their surroundings. Men, of course, get affected, but they have a big protection. What is that? Their mind. A woman also, she also has a protection. When she's around goodness, she knows what's good, and she knows not to do that bad. But the problem is when slowly but surely, when she stops being around goodness and now is around bad, her whole ideology changes towards that. She's scrolling through YouTube. She's listening to CNN, to crazy Democrats. Slowly, she's changing into that. Some people, they never ever got an identity to begin with of a good person. Their whole life, they have been told this identity that is a bad person, but they think that that's what they're supposed to be, and they think that is good. A woman has to know, the man is like, he's the warrior, he's the protector, he's the provider. And a woman needs to know that she is a fortress. She is the fortress. She has to protect herself from bad environments, from not such good friends. Be around holy people. Yes, it might be nice to be able to have tons and tons of people that you could just talk and talk to, but if that means in order to have tons of people you have to have a lot of people that are not so good to be around, she has to know it's better to have less people, because if she's around people that are not good, the evil is very powerful, and it begins to change her the fastest that it can. Some people has to take it slow, some people can go a bit faster, some people can go super fast. Especially when everything is so shallow, it could go very quick. That's what we see with the kids today. People made Yiddishkeit, took it out of its origin of what it means, and made it very shallow, and people leave like wildfire. People don't want to come in. Like, they see the wild, they just, it's so unattractive. The mitzvahs Hashem aren't unattractive. What people put on and set their ideas onto Judaism, that's what makes it unattractive. When a man can't, the idea of learning a trade, learning a job, is not supposed to be part of a man's life, that's when things go wrong. When a woman's made to think that they could only marry this type of man, otherwise you're basically a loser. There was no point that you were born. There's no honor in your life unless you do this. That's when you take out the balance that the Torah teaches us. That's when everything goes wrong. Now, I don't want to get into, focus on that. We just, you see how the different aspects of life, how they all intertwine, and they sort of give you a picture why things are going so wrong. A woman has to know she needs to be a fortress. Right? The Gemara calls a woman bias, the house. Right? Each woman They want to live in a house. A man, he doesn't need to live in a house. He doesn't mind living on the tent, being adventurous, conquering places, you know, visiting here, visiting there. He doesn't want to buy a house. I'm fine without a house. I'll get a mobile trailer. A woman's like, no, bias. I want a house. A woman she needs to be the fortress. She needs to protect her family. There's a lot of wisdom that a woman could give advice for. They see things and they should let their husband know, let their kids know. And for themselves, they need to know that they need to be a fortress. A woman is seeing, why aren't I appreciating my husband so much anymore? Why am I becoming so self-centered? Why am I thinking about divorce? Divorce should be an unholy thought. It should be something, it should be thoughts of the devil. That's how it should be looked. Divorce is like an unclean thoughts, just like pornography is unclean. Divorce is unclean. It's something that's it would take an atom bomb for me to realize it. You understand? It's something so far-fetched, something so out there, something that just person should be disgusted by the word divorce. Today, it became a status. If one speaks that, easily, especially when a woman could say, easily speaks about divorcing a man, she's looked at as smart, intelligent, as a real woman, that she could divorce a man. Because, she's looked at as something chashuv. This should be a 4-letter word. It should be something that's disgusting. It would take something tremendous, not little frivolity, something tremendous to bring that into the picture. A woman has to be careful. Women today, they could get good education and make you money, just like men could get good education. And women have certain aspect of them there, how they push forward. They're not challenged with laziness so much. A man is more challenged with laziness. A woman has her challenges, but when it comes to laziness, a man is more challenged by that. A woman much less. So having a woman work for you, she could do endless amounts of things, and keep pushing forward. You understand? But a woman also has to know in herself that you have to be careful. Yes, you're making money and this and that, but if all of a sudden the business it stops caring so much about who they bring in, and they're just thinking about are they good at this, but they don't think about this person spiritually, this person in they don't care so much if the person's a good person, if the person's a religious person. They just bring them in. and they ruin the atmosphere there. They bring evil into in, into that building, into that, like second home. You could be working there so many years and it feels like a second home, that business. Then you gotta get together with other women and men and fix it. And if people just don't listen, then you gotta leave. A woman has to know she needs to leave very quickly, because she will be affected tremendously by that evil. And now a woman could start to understand why things are changing. Last year it was so good. Now the same thing is happening, but I'm just not feeling the same. Why is that? Check your friends. Check your workplace. Check the neighborhood that you're in. Did you maybe go to a place that's not holy? To a place that's filled with vile people? People that are empty, and evilness resides inside of them. That impurity, that tumah, is taking hold of you and is what's making you feel this way, and God forbid want these improper things. You got to be so careful. Also who you listen to. Today you could be listening to so many people. You got to be careful only to listen to holy people, to good holy people. That's it. Sometimes people think that they have to be on the level of a president, of someone running the country. You're not running the country. You don't have to know everything and understand everything. You're not running the country. Relax. You don't need to know all the news. You know what's the first thing you need to do? You need to make sure that you're around good, holy people, and that you're listening to good, holy people. You don't have to listen to CNN. You don't have to listen to these other people that are that are not really good people. People that, let's say, people that don't do what they, don't act in a proper way. You don't have to sit in and listen to them to be able to tell your friends how you're open-minded. No. You have to be proud. I am closed-minded. I only want to listen to good, holy people. I do not want to listen to evil. Listening to evil corrupts your soul. And this is how a woman could now improve the marriage, improve the life, improve themselves by pushing away people that are not good and holy, and bringing people into their life that are good and holy. We're not God. We can't sit and change people, very much, and just allow bad people to be in our life because we want to change them. We don't want to hurt them by pushing them away. Life is short. You can't take that risk. You can't, a woman can't take that risk because she's so affected by the people that is around her. She can't take that risk. She has to, in a firm but polite way, tell the person that that's it, it's over. And the husband needs to respect that. We're saying deep things. This is only the beginning, just to understand. When a woman begins to understand this is the main aspect of herself that she needs to understand, that she is almost completely affected by who she spends time with, by her surroundings, by who she listens to. And she realizes that, and now she starts to take control and say, we're gonna move to a spiritual place. I'm gonna make sure that I, in a firm way, in a firm but polite way, get rid of the bad friends, the bad neighbors that I talk to, and now only talk to good ones. When she takes that control, then now she's not just in the middle of the ocean being pulled by all sides. Instead, now she's hovering above it, and she could see the greatness that's inside of her and start using it to bring goodness into the world, to bring blessing into the world, to cause people's lives to just change by being in her proximity. People should just get full of hope being around her. People should just get filled of spirituality being around her. People should just get full of goodness being around her. Full of positivity, hope. Without her even speaking to them. It should just happen. It's in the atmosphere. They just feel it when she walks into the room. Taking control of the situation is the lifeboat, is the helicopter, is how you rise above it, and you see the greatness inside of you and what you can do for your spouse, for your husband, for your kids, for your great-grandkids, for your town, for the world. At first, it's difficult. It's very difficult for a woman. You feel like you're drowning. You're not sure what you want. And it just changes. It's difficult. But if you pick yourself up, you start taking control and understanding that you're like almost completely affected by your surroundings. And therefore, you're going to make that your surroundings are the best. You're going to be living in a town, in a neighborhood that's a holy place. Now, you're going to leave that job where the people there speak so dirty. You're going to go into a place that has religious values. I heard in Dave Ramsey there was this woman that was acting and wanted to have affairs and things like that, and it could be legally they weren't able to say because she wants to have affairs they're going to kick her up. So they found they, they made it like for some other reason. You understand? But really that was the reason why they're getting rid of her. That's the way to be. That's where you should go work. Go work for Dave Ramsey. Go work for good companies that of course they're trying to make money to support their families, themselves, their families, you, but they also want a spiritual workplace, a positive workplace, a good workplace, a loving workplace, a non-gossip workplace. Ooh. That's where you should be working, in such a place. Don't settle for less. I love you, and Hashem loves you more.